Mr. Ron Aarons from the Campus Ministry Department, and we're here to talk to you today about the Camden, New Jersey immersion trip. So, how long have you been working with the Campus Ministry program as well as the Companions program?
I've been here at Canisius for 17 years, and I've been doing the Companions trip every year since I started here. Been in Campus Ministry for 15 years.
Camden is an immersion trip that you've done several times. Has each trip felt distinctly different in each way, other than having different students and faculty members?
Definitely different in each way. Every time we've gone to Camden, New Jersey, we've done different things. This past year we did farming, we did some schoolwork. Other times we've done like habitat building and more like community centers. We did some of that this past year, but yeah, every trip is different. We started going to Camden in 1999, and we've gone there, I believe, now 6 times. This last year was our 6th time, and I think just the makeup of the group always, enables different experiences, even for someone who's been there every year.
How long did you live in Camden for, and how did you get to know Father Doyle?
Yep. I worked 2 years in Camden, one as a Jesuit volunteer in 1996, and then in 1998 I went back and was an honors English and social studies teacher for the school, Sacred Heart School in Camden. And between those 2 years I was able to worship at Sacred Heart Parish and really learn about some of the real injustices that the parish really fights for its own people in terms of environmental injustices, as well as just many other social injustices that they face, and we all face.
In retrospect, what was the Center for Environmental Transformation a good location for immersion as opposed to the Response for Love Center?
I think the Environmental Transformation Center was a great place to learn something a little bit different than most of the places that we do service projects here. They run an urban farm, which there are urban farms in Buffalo, but they really don't have a community center that goes along with it that kind of teaches people about the importance of using the land that's available to feed people, especially those who can't get to grocery stores and get to some of the things that suburban shoppers have access to. Healthy food, organic food, that's a lot cheaper than, if they can get to stores, it's certainly a lot cheaper than if they can get to Wegmans or Tops here by growing it themselves and learning how to grow.
We both know that it's a big problem in Camden for people to find good healthy food because all they have is corner stores with items like bags of chips and pop.
Yeah, we have the same problem here in our city. If you go to the east side and west side, there are some urban farms, but for the most part, most of our city is pretty isolated from cheap food that's organic. I mean, if you go to Wegmans or Tops in the city, you're probably not going to have a big selection of those types of things, and if those things that are around are so expensive, it's out of the reach of probably most of the citizens of Buffalo. So that's something hopefully that'll happen here.
How does the fact that Camden was once your home play into your experience on the immersion trips there?
It's often hard to leave and often hard to arrive there, just because it's where I learned so much about, I think, my shortcomings, and kind of destroyed a lot of the stereotypes and ideas that I had about urban life, about poverty, about the way the world works. So it's good to go back, but it's also challenging that I should be doing more at my job here, and as well as the city. So it's good to go back because it just reminds you like what you should be doing. What's most important in your life.
Thank you very much, Mr. Aaron.
Thank you guys very much.
Good evening. I'm Anthony Mascaro here with Dr. Joseph Amuso, and we're here to talk about the Camden Immersion trip. Doc, how did you get to be a part of the Camden Companions program?
The truth or a polite lie? The polite lie is I jumped at the opportunity. The truth is Mr. Aarons drafted me to do it. Just kidding. I offered to do it. I've done service trips with students in other places, other schools, so I wanted to be part of that.
In preparing for the trip to Camden, New Jersey, what goals did you set for yourself, and what did you hope to achieve on the trip?
I wanted to be successful in exposing kids to different situations. Oftentimes the neighborhoods and the places where we go are, it can be a culture shock for the kids. Dealing with people who are on the margins, hard situations. One of my goals was to give the kids a good immersion, as it were, of that, and coming into contact with folks. To kind of break down some of their ideas of what that is and get it to the reality.
Like with our group, we had a bunch of suburban kids who were going into a city. Huge culture shock.
Huge culture.
Do you think you met your goals?
I think you guys met my goals. The follow-ups with that I've had with each of the guys who went on the trip, just informal and informal conversations, and just reflecting and talking about their experience with the people there, kind of the lasting effects of their own kind of outlook on life or impression of things. So I think we're
What challenges, if you had any, did you encounter?
living with people 24/7 for several days in a row.
Our group plus other people in the house.
Other people in the house. If you're I'm more of an introverted heart, so not having that quiet and away time, I found challenging, but rewarding. It's always a continued kind of stretch and growth for me in situations like that.
Given that you have lived as a Jesuit before teaching at Canisius, how did this particular experience affect your role as a faculty leader on this immersion trip? Did your Jesuit lifestyle rub off on the immersion program?
I think everything about the immersion program, just the formation program for kids in general, here at Canisius, seeped in Jesuit formation. A lot of the things that I end up doing with the guys now, the students now, are things that I was doing in my own formation process as a Jesuit. It's really kind of a rollover.
Was the Newburgh, New York trip somewhat similar to the Camden trip? And did you take anything from Camden and apply it into the Newburgh trip?
As always, the most well-laid plans, things change. You have to adapt to situations, to people. You have to be open. You can plan for everything, but life is funny that way. God is funny that way. Things change. And sometimes those things that are the most challenging that you can expect end up being the things that kind of bear the most fruit, the most beneficial. So you got to be open. You got to roll with it.
Thank you very much, Doc.
Thank you.